All right, hello everyone. My name is Marco Rubin, and I'd like to welcome you to the Indian Country Broadband Provider Portal webinar. Today we will be showing you a demonstration how this tool works. And before we get started, I'd like to introduce the other team members, the Center for Innovative Technology, VGIN, and I am with Native American Capital. We are in a project that's funded by Department of Commerce and TIA. And this webinar is part of a two-part series. The conversation that ties both of these webinars together is mapping Indian Country Broadband. And today we'll be talking about how to use the portal for specific types of data that the team from VGIN will be presenting here in a moment. The next webinar is on Thursday, May 15th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So for those who get this in time, please note that on your calendars. And today's webinar is being recorded, so we'll make this content available to you on the Native American Capital website, and the contact information will be noted towards the end of the presentation. So without further delay, I'd like to introduce my two colleagues from VGIN who will be presenting today's content. Dan Widner and Derek will be the lead presenter, but for the moment, I'll hand off to Dan, and if you could take it from there, I'd appreciate it.
Thanks, Marco. I'm Dan Widner with the Virginia Geographic Information Network, or VGIN, as Marco said. And we're part of the overall broadband team that's here helping as a part of NTIA's ongoing efforts to assist tribal broadband providers, tribes, and state broadband grantees with gathering data, providing assistance and tools where needed to get this information on the national broadband map to make it as up-to-date and as accurate as possible. Our role in the project is to help translate information into mapping data so it can be displayed consistently on the national broadband map. And so what we can do, we're here to help, and you're going to hear more about that in a moment, how we can help. That we basically try to ingest information and translate it into mapping data so that it can be displayed on the national map. So we have this online mapping interface that you're going to see today that Derek's going to go into in more detail. It's one of many tools that we have that can help. And I suppose if there's one consistent theme that we hope you take away today is that we are here to help, and this is one of the ways that we can do that. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Derek, who's going to get into the nitty-gritty more of how you can utilize this tool.
Thanks, Dan. Again, I'm Derek Gregory, a GIS analyst here at VGIN, and I will be running through the Provider Portal application with you. It's basically a secure website in which tribes, tribal providers, and other stakeholders can collaborate and make informed decisions about their broadband coverage. We think this tool can help tribal providers by giving them a hands-on, easily accessible tool to see their coverage and for involved parties to contribute to the discussion. The purpose of the Indian Country Portal is to provide a secure web-based platform on which the program stakeholders can visually access their broadband mapping data. In a nutshell, this allows you, the provider, to look at your data on the web. It's secure, so you have the control as to who sees this data and who it gets shared with. Here are some features of the Provider Portal. This web map has been designed with maximum functionality in mind, and because it's on the web, it's flexible. You don't need to have any kind of additional software, send frequent emails, or send maps back and forth. And it's a map, so at its core you can see where the coverage lies and where it does not. The map also has the ability to be verified and modified, allowing greater collaboration and easier sharing of pertinent information. You can mark it up and make edits to this map. And you get notifications as to when someone has made a change to a certain part of the coverage, asked for clarification, or requests more information on a specific issue. We see this kind of collaboration as a great way to ensure the mapping data is as accurate as possible. Also, built into the functionality of the web portal are markup and verification tools. The markup tools allow you to edit attributes in the data such as upload and download speed, as well as draw and mark areas that need further attention. There are places to put comments in, as well as any changes in speed or technology that you may want to edit. The verification tools are there to provide feedback from the tribal telecoms concerning their broadband coverage in discrete areas of interest. So I'm just going to start with some quick FAQs, and then I'll start going through the demonstration afterward. I'll leave time for questions at the end, so anything I don't cover here, feel free to ask me after the presentation. As to how this data gets to the website, it will be sent to VGIN's secure FTP, where we download and process it to conform to the NTIA's National Broadband Map data model, just as any state SBI program would. Additionally, any provider may draw their coverage on the map as well if this is a viable option. The data will then be published as a secure map service hosted in-house here at VGIN and displayed through the web portal application. The data will not be shared or viewable to anyone except for the VGIN team and the tribal telecom. When the application finally loads, you will notice that there is a lot of information present. Just remember that all the data you're looking at will be either broadband coverage, mobile wireless test points, if this is an option, or the boundaries of the individual tribal areas themselves. And you can refer to the legend at any time with this if you're confused. The website is managed entirely by the VGIN team, and a username and password are assigned for every provider and tribe. Whomever logs in will only be able to see and edit the data they're associated with. This is called role-based access. So now I'm going to transition over to the application itself in my web browser. First thing you need to do when you get to it is log in. Your username and password will be assigned to you through an email notification or over the telephone. If you're a tribe, then your login name will be the census code number for your particular tribe. I will log in here as AT&T to give you a better example of some of the website's functionality. See, I've got my username and password both already input, so I'm just going to hit sign in. Once you log in, you'll be taken to a splash page where you can choose to go onto the map application. There are also links to a PDF help document for assistance on how to operate the map, as well as a YouTube channel with some related videos that you may view also. Once you click the launch link, the map application should start. Please allow it some time to completely load when you first log in, and you'll know it's completely loaded when the little spinning icon at the top right-hand corner of the map disappears. By simply clicking the map and moving around, you're able to pan to different areas. If you have a mouse wheel, you can zoom in and out using that, but if not, there's a toggle zoom slider at the left-hand corner over here. There are also some other options to zoom quickly to other areas of the map, and I'll use those in a second. At the top toolbar, you can choose to zoom to a specific state or a tribe from different drop-down menus. If you're a provider, clicking our service area brings you to a full extent of your total coverage, and there's also an option to put in a postal address, and it takes you directly there as well. I'm going to zoom to a particular tribe. Give it some time to load. The first thing you'll notice will be the coverage area inside of the Indian tribe, which you're viewing the data as represented by the green outline. You can use the Map Legend button on the far left-hand side to bring up the legend in PDF format. You can also size this to display and zoom in and out as necessary. Clicking on the Base Map tab allows you to toggle back and forth between the classic street map and aerial imagery. There's also a checkbox for tribes allowing you to turn on and off the tribal boundaries as well. The Provider Map tab allows you to modify the display of the data in the application and to make comparisons between past and present data if that is an available option to you. You'll notice at the top left-hand corner several boxes for transmission technologies. Clicking on these allows the user to switch in between these, and clicking the National Broadband Map checkbox allows you to bring in this information also. So if I wanted to bring in the data from the National Broadband Map, I would click the provider's corresponding transmission technology and click the checkbox. The submission slider bar lets the user visually compare the current and previous submissions by moving it backward and forward. And the changes checkbox are there to single out any changes in submission between speed and coverage for both wireless and wireline transmission technologies. Clicking on the Markup tab brings you to the Markup toolbar. With the Markup tools, you can make individual edits to the data by clicking the Edit button and selecting an area of question within the coverage. I'm going to zoom in a little closer so you can pick out an area of detail, and I think I'll switch back to the street map. And show you the edit functionality. If it's a larger area that you are concerned with, you can also select the draw line or draw area and mark up multiple areas on the map with these tools. When you click on an area and edit or draw a feature, a prompt appears asking you to input information about what you see as a potential issue. There are blanks to put in provider information and any comments you have about the speed, coverage, or transmission technology type. If you make an edit you want to change, you can click Delete Markup and any lines or areas are erased. The markup tools also allow tribal telecoms to manually create broadband coverage if no outside data is available to give to VGen. We see this as a great option for tribal telecoms if they do not have any pre-existing data such as GIS shapefiles, KML files, or address spreadsheets. There's also functionality within the map to view speed test data if this is an available option that's been made to you. I can show you that here. You can bring up the legend to show you what each of the colors mean. Hovering over any feature in the map brings up a black dialog box explaining what the particular feature is and its attributes. The Compare tool under Verification allows you to select a feature of interest and compare it side by submission cycle. The Select tool allows you to just view the attributes of a feature and appears in the dialog window mentioned previously. You may also use the Drawbox tool to leave another user a note to draw attention to a verification item. Verification items are how textual information is passed between party to party within the application. Any changes you make in the map you can save by clicking Save and Exit in the top right-hand corner. Well, that's all I'd like to say about the demonstration, and I'll hand it over to Caroline to wrap it up.
Thanks, Derek. Just a couple reminders. We have a hard deadline for participation in this mapping, and so this webinar serves as a call to action. Also, it's important to mention that the use of this application is completely free to use. There's no subscription cost. It's completely free, and as you can see, there's contact information listed, but you can also contact me at caroline.stolle, S-T-O-L-L-E, @cit.org.